to Three Wise Men. I'm Danny Holbrook, joined alongside Miles Holliday and Nate Garlock. And gentlemen, before I start the show, can we give our proper shout out to the St. Henry Redskins for winning the state title again? Charlie Whirling was fantastic. We're going to talk a little bit about him later.
Yeah, without a doubt. What a great year for St. Henry. It just makes you wonder. Columbus Grove, so close, right? And they had been able to get by St. Henry, probably state champs as well.
Yeah, I texted one of their coaches today and said, Coach, you guys were that close. Yeah. And Hillsdale's had a rough couple of years, guys. Marion Local beat them up pretty bad last year, and then St. Henry.
Listen, that's what the MAC is, right? And St. Henry, the king of the MAC now with the state title, and they knocked off Marion Local. A great season. Charlie Whirling named co-offensive player of the year down there with for them in All-State just earlier today. Fantastic season. A lot going on down there.
Did I hear correctly? 50th state title for the MAC?
50th state title for the MAC. 7th for St. Henry, 50. Let's take a look at the website, Miles. How about that? Or the
that's
email.
Not a website.
Email, yeah. Should I say that?
Now, you definitely want to get the emails in because next week we're going to have our email segment where we answer your great questions that you guys send us. Danny, what is that web
Three Wise Men at WTOW.com.
Email, right?
Email.
Yeah.
Is it go?
I remember those
dial
days.
Up. Yeah,
I do remember those days.
You've got mail.
But you want to get it in because we're going to take a little bit of break for Christmas, so we're not going to have an opportunity to answer your great questions. So get them in. We'll answer them next week.
Absolutely. Guys, let's dive right into the Diamond Dave Bowen best thing we saw this week. Before we started this segment, I thought to myself, I should probably go first because I don't want to have the same thing Nate has because it always happens, right? It always happens. So I'm going to let you go first, Nate.
All right, sounds good. So for me, my first one is on Saturday night, Danny and I, we were over in Delphos St. John's. We had the Delphos St. John's Elida game. And their pregame atmosphere, I'm telling you what, that is everything that high school sports is supposed to be. From the performance the cheerleaders put on to the fans and the music and the band and how the team comes out. I mean, I looked at Danny when they were doing it. I said, that's when you go to a high school sporting event, this is what it's supposed to be. I mean, it was everything that you would want to be. It was the perfect way to get a high school basketball game going. I loved everything about it. So big shout out to them, to their cheerleaders, their crowd. The student section was into it.
It was there.
Oh, it was amazing. So big shout out to St. John's. That was fun to be a part of. And then my other one, the highlight reel that we call Lima Senior. Their weekend over there with the scores that they put up, they got the TCAL their TCAL season underway, and then on Saturday a big game against a really good Cincinnati Aiken team, an Aiken team that was in the state tournament last year. I believe it was the finals. A very good team. Lima Senior came out, put 100 on them. It was, I think, 101-87 was the final, and I'm telling you guys, it wasn't even that close. The highlight reels, the dunks, the shots, the tempo that they play. This Lima Senior team, better watch out and be ready.
You know why? Because Taco's on the menu, right?
Oh, my gosh.
I love Taco. He is great.
Oh, good. We can just mark off. That is pun number 7,800 for this season.
But seriously, that young man can score.
Yeah,
he's a good ball player.
And he's going to be a big part of what they're doing over there. Obviously, everybody knows, the Fosters with Sean and Willie, but somebody else is going to have to do something. And I think he's going to be a fantastic piece. What is happening over there?
What are you taking my glasses?
I want to look smart like Danny when he takes them off and he looks in the camera and he goes, I'm going to let Nate go first.
Thank you. It's a psychological move that makes people think. There's a lot of times when I don't know an answer, especially when I'm working at school, and I'll go.
No, there is.
I'll go like this.
Oh.
I better not help you with that because it's not an advantage for you. And then I go like this. I shake my glasses and I go, back to work, young man.
Thanks, Grandpa Holbrook.
The entire world is stunned thinking that you don't know something.
That's true. That's true.
Well, Grandpa, do you want to go next?
I would love to. I would
Go
love
ahead.
to. So I'm going to stay on that St. Henry train. Winning the state championship, beating Hillsdale 37-3. What a dominant performance. I listened to that game on the radio. That was never in doubt, guys.
On
never
the Philco.
On the Philco, yeah. The old crystal wire. I tuned it in. I got radio air traffic. Radio Bombay.
A school this size has never won it.
Yeah, but it was fantastic. And then I'm going to stay in Mac country because I got two more. Cam Elwer getting 2,000 points, fantastic. Not in one night, but in a career. They had a really nice ceremony. My most favorite call of the night was they stopped the game, and Nate says on air, he looks annoyed by the stoppage.
It was one of those things where he gets this huge milestone, which it's not, 1,000 points is a huge thing too. We see a lot of really good players in this area get it. They get good recognition. It's not every day we see a 2,000th point.
And he just wanted to play.
And he had to go to the free throw line. They stop it, and he was just kind of like, all right, give me the ball. Goes over to the coach. He shared a nice moment with his mom, and then goes to the free throw line, knocks down the free throw. Like all that stoppage, everything going. He's like, just give me the ball.
Have you seen that video on social media of him with the ball handling drill with the 2 balls at once? It's absolutely insane. Next time you guys are watching, go watch that part of it. It's crazy what he can do with a basketball.
All right, mine, Parker Krim, signing with Illinois. I know we all want him to go to Ohio State, but he stayed committed to Illinois. Big moment for that young man. Can't wait to watch him play football in the Big Ten. It's gonna be
not
amazing.
a nicer kid in the area.
Yeah,
he was well
Great
deserving.
kid, great kid.
Now, I'm wondering if he's going to, they're going to a bowl game. I'm wondering if he's going to get on campus early and travel and be part of the whole bowl practice thing there. I think that'd be a really good experience for him. So congratulations on that one. Was at Van Wert last Saturday with Randy Robertson, Ken Rieker, and they unveiled their new introduction on the floor. Man, is this something else. They turn out the lights. They got the lasers. They got the kids that are superimposed on the floor, dribbling basketballs as they're coming out. It is about the coolest pregame show you're ever going to see.
I saw it. They posted it to social media, but I got to imagine in person it's even better.
It's crazy. It's awesome. And they told me when Danny Holbrook does a game there, they're going to have Danny's face superimposed on the floor as well.
And they're going to the voiceover is going to be, they're going to count it.
I hope so. I hope so.
Just like Santa Claus.
Yeah, I can't stand you guys.
All right. Had a game at Albion College last week, and ONU was there, and it was so cool to see local guys like Aiden Harris
PG.
and Theo Mag there. And
OG?
Yeah, surprisingly, they were both fantastic. Aiden Harris's length was just absolutely everywhere, steal after steal, in for layups. Albion got the win, but I'm telling you that ONU team is going to win a lot of games. They were fantastic. Ken Rieker, our great producer.
Oh, he's a great
1,000 broadcasts he has produced
That's
Saturday.
amazing.
Yeah, that was
job.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Randy Robertson and I were able to be a part of that. The best in the business right there. The guy's fantastic. Yeah. And the last one, opened up a couple of boxes of cards over the weekend, and Ohio State cards. And how about some local guys? There it is.
That's awesome.
Colin White right there, Ohio State basketball. And then the great Tavian Sinclair as well.
You better hold on to that one. Danny's going to try to steal that one.
He already has.
Yeah, you better hold on to
Both
that
of
one.
them. Those are
But
my
pretty
guys.
cool. And I reached out to Colin. He said next time we see each other, he'll go ahead and sign it for me. So that's really nice.
Awesome.
Nice. All right, guys, we're going to step aside. When we come back, it's going to be interview time. The Defiance Bulldogs are in the house. Head coach Bryn Lehman, Josiah Schlatter, and Jordyn Wright. It's interview time here on the Three Wise Men, and the Defiance Bulldogs are in the house. Head coach Bryn Lehman, Josiah Schlatter, and Jordyn Wright. Gentlemen, thanks for being on the show.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Coach, I want to start with you. It is early in the basketball season. How tough is it for a coach to have to wait for your players from the football season? You guys typically have football success at Defiance. Every year it seems like schools start later and later.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. I think, there might be some coaches that are antsy to get their guys, and I'm definitely ready to get them. But I think if you can make a football run, that shows that you've got a competitive group of guys. So I think that only benefits us in the long run. And look at the MAC, and they're not any different. They have success in football. They have success in basketball. I think if we've got to wait a few more weeks, some early season struggles are worth it in the long run because they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and you guys, how tough is it starting out the basketball season? And you obviously got to wait for some football players to get there, and then you've got to learn some new things. And it was when I coached basketball, the first until you got to Christmas was really tough, and then you had that brutal after Christmas practice. You know what I'm talking about? How tough is it the start of the season?
Me start?
Yep.
Yeah, it's very difficult, like transitioning, because I play football, so transitioning from playing months of playing football and then just going straight into basketball, having to get your touch back and everything like that. So very hard as a player, of course.
Yeah. This year was a little bit different. We've had all 3 of our seniors were playing football this year, so being that underclassmen coming up and having to be at those early season practices, that's just different this year that I wasn't used to from previous years.
Well, you guys got off to a great start last week. Won on Friday against Paulding, and then turned around, played right away on a Saturday at 1 o'clock against Scott. Not having any games, then going into 2 games within 24 hours. How difficult as a player is that?
You start this one.
I thought it was. I mean, coming out, we came out with a lot of energy Friday night, and I think that just set the tone early and set us up for success Friday night, and then we just carried that into Saturday too.
Is it tough as an athlete? You play Friday night, you want to go out, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings, you want to go wherever, right, and have a good time, but you got to bounce back so early on the Saturday morning.
100%. It's hard to get energy Saturdays, like early games. It's hard to it just all feels weird. So yeah, you definitely gotta bring energy, or you're going to be very flat.
And then, Coach, how do you plan for something like that? Did you have practices leading into it that were close in proximity with time?
We do that quite a bit. We'll go Friday afternoons, Friday evenings, and then we'll go really early Saturday. We've had a couple 7:30 practices on Saturdays, get them up. And I'm wondering if you had beat-ups bugged, because that's exactly where they went Friday after the game. So you were prepared.
Look, anytime Randy Roberts and I are out there, where do we go afterwards? And we always see the guys.
All right, let's talk about the Western Buckeye League. It is an absolute grind. Every team, it's competitive every single weekend, every conference matchup. And you guys, every year, very competitive in the conference. Last year, you guys had that really close game with Shawnee, had them on the ropes, ended up, not being able to come away with that victory. But going into this year, a clean slate, the Western Buckeye League really seems wide open. It seems like there's a handful of teams that are ripe to finish with a conference title, you guys included. What's it like, one, to play in such a difficult conference, having to get up for those games week in and week out, and how do you guys like your chances this year?
I have a tremendous, amount of pride of being in the WBL. I think, it goes back to, when I was in 8th grade, my dad took the Defiance job, and we came down, and, that first year, the Pollitt's twins were seniors. Jamar Butler was a senior. Salina was loaded. And I remember looking at him like, why did you bring us here? What are we doing? And, it hasn't changed any. And it's an unbelievable league to be a part of, because I've got so much respect. The coaching is unbelievable. There's stud players everywhere you look, and I think that's part of it, is the teams know each other so well. That's why you get so many close games, and there's so many battles amongst various teams. So it's a fun league to be a part of, but it is an absolute grind. You're right.
But what about you guys, having to go up against some of these guys that maybe get a little bit more publicity, you hear a little bit more about, you guys know it's such a tough league with Ottawa Glandorf and Shawnee, everything they're doing, all the news coming out of Van Wert with that young team, with you guys and the pieces you guys have coming back. How are you guys handling it, getting ready for what is, we just talked about, an absolute grind where, I think there's a lot of people who think that you guys can compete right at the top of the league.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams are really good this year and last year, and I think that just makes it all the more fun, being able to go out there and play, and it's rewarding when you can win those games, so I think it makes it a lot of fun.
Like you said, playing good teams, it's always better when you beat them, so very rewarding. The league's good. I feel like we can definitely come out on top this year, though, 100%.
Coach, I got a philosophy question about what you do. When I coached, I used to hate double weekends, Friday and Saturday. You prepare all week for that Friday night league game. It's always the league game. And then Saturday's usually a neighborhood rival with Tenora or whoever it is, How do you handle just getting to prepare Saturday morning for that Saturday night game after you've spent all week, and then coming off of heaven forbid, a loss on Friday night? That makes that game on Saturday so much more important.
Yeah, it's ironic you asked that now. We actually shifted, so the back half of our schedule is all Tuesday, Friday.
See, a lot of schools are doing that.
Right,
yeah.
and that was sort of self-preservation, because I wouldn't sleep. We'd play a game Friday, and I'd watch film, and we'd bring these guys in to shoot around.
Get that, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I think early in the year you can survive those, because the guys don't want to practice; they want to play. And later in the year you got to save legs a little bit, so if you can space games out in that way, that's literally what we're doing. After January 17th, we're all Tuesday, Friday. So that's what we're going for.
Yeah. What about as players? You guys like that philosophy?
Yeah, I mean, I think these early season games, like he said, we want to play. So Friday, Saturdays, that doesn't bother us too much. But yeah, the end of the season's hard playing back to back, so it's nice being spaced out.
And we're seeing a lot of girls programs go like that Saturday noon tip-off, which is great prime time for them, and they get all that attention. Question for you guys. The one school that you want to beat worse than any school every year?
I'd probably say Napoleon.
Napoleon. Okay.
Yeah.
Rivals, yeah. Got to beat them every year.
So you're going Napoleon? You just
Yep.
won't say it. He knows people watch the show. I ask that every
Say
time.
it. You'll feel good to say it. Just say it. I want to beat Napoleon. Just say
Why
it.
Napoleon?
Because, I mean,
Did they talk some trash?
they do, and then they postpone games, so.
You know what? This is what high school sports are about. Though.
Right.
This is the rivalries,
I love
right?
that.
That stuff. That's
fantastic.
great.
That's do you have a good game against them every year?
Every year. Every year. Lock them up, score points every year.
Danny, I got to point out, Coach Lehman didn't answer the question, though.
I didn't ask Coach Lehman because I've been a coach before. I'm not going there.
Okay.
Coach is going to look at me and go, I want to win every game. Right, Coach?
No doubt. No doubt. All of them.
Just maybe one more than another one, right?
Yeah.
Just without doubt.
Coach, how do you handle the comparison with you and Dad all the time? Legendary coach, and how do you handle that?
I get that question a lot, and that was something that came up even in the interview process. Is how are you going to handle, people telling you aren't your dad, and my response, and it's been my whole life. Everything in my entire life has been compared to him. So, I don't know any different, and
It's pretty good comparison, though, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But I was raised the right way where there's no excuses. You put your head down and you work, and people are going to say things. He's a legend. I'm not going to be him, and it's going to take an awful lot to ever get, anywhere close to what he's accomplished. But I enjoy this game because of him, and the way I was raised, and I'm going to give it my best no matter what.
Guys, when you guys go on the road and you go to these away games, you go to these other gyms, and you walk in and you're like, this is what other people have to play in? You guys think that to yourself? After that amazing home court advantage you guys have, walk into those visitors like, man, people have to play here? How do they even get shots up? Well, what's it like playing in what I think a lot of us
the Taj
think,
Mahal
it
basketball.
is
the best in
It
the
has
area.
to be probably, but without a doubt, at least in Northwest Ohio. I haven't been everywhere, but I'd be hard pressed to think that there's a lot of high school gyms better than the ones you guys get to play in.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's crazy to think about you walk into that gym every day and for practice, and we take it for granted all the time. So I think it's amazing.
I'm more of a small gym type of guy anyway. So, I mean, I love our gym. It's beautiful, but going into like OG where it's gonna get packed and it's gonna get loud. I love that. I strive for small gyms for sure.
Well,
Like Napoleon's, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about OGs. Who you guys have Friday night here on WOSN. Give us a little scouting report. What are things that you're a little bit concerned about, Coach?
It's they struggled a year ago, but that being said, we beat them by a point at their place, even when they were down per se. So they're persistent, and that's Ottawa Glandorf. They're going to give you their best. They're going to you might kick them early, and we've experienced that quite a few times the last few years where we've had them down. We were up big last year in the first half, and they scratched and clawed their way back. The Fortman kid can really score it. They've got shooters all around. The Shoemaker kid's young, but he's going to be really, really good. So we respect the heck out of him. And Tyson, he's as good as anybody around as far as coaching, and it's going to be a grind. We know that, but we've got a group that's competitive, and I think we're going to go after them.
All right, comes down. Last possession Friday night against OG. Coach calls a timeout. Which one of you wants to take the last shot?
Right here. I want it.
I love it.
Shooter.
That's
my shooter.
fantastic.
I'm gonna get him it too. Give him a great pass.
He'll knock it down every time?
100%.
This is misdirection. He's going to keep it now.
Now that they've given it away, Coach's like, great, now I got to redraw the play.
Tyson's at home right now.
Guys, let's talk about your relationship with Coach. Obviously, he's got a lot of faith in you. He brought you on the show tonight, and he knows that the cameras are going to be on you guys, and he has confidence in you. What's it like playing for Coach Lehman?
It's great. I mean, like you said before, his dad is a great coach, so being raised by him, playing, being able to go back, he brought up papers of statistics about back when he played and other coaches. So seeing this, the success that he had and what he went through as a player, I mean, that just brings more confidence in him that we have, and it's amazing.
When he busted out like actual physical pieces of paper, did that guys remind you guys about the whole? You know, you guys,
And I'm going to
pull it up on his phone or anything.
The stat sheets I showed them, none of them were mine because that would lose my credibility. So I made sure I kept those buried. I showed them some of the other good teams.
So it's like playing for Coach.
It's amazing, you know. It's kind of like he's more than a basketball coach. A lot of coaches keep it strictly basketball. He's more of he's a good person, you know, all on the court and off the court. So it's a good experience.
If you called Coach at 3 a.m, he'd be there. Good experience.
Cool. Great tradition at Defiance, right? We all know about the state title. Growing up, watching Defiance basketball, who are some of the guys that you fell in love with as players?
Well, we were young enough that we remember the state team, but not a lot. I loved watching my brother play 4 years ago, so that was great.
He's a good ball player.
I mean, I couldn't Braden Shaw, Caden Zachrich, couldn't help but love them. Never got to play with them, but those are two guys that I watched a lot.
I have to say, Wes Detter.
Really?
Wes Detter.
Good ball player as well. Yeah.
But yeah, Caden Zachrich, Braden Shaw, they were seniors my freshman year, and I really looked up to them 100%.
So let me ask you guys this. As we get ready to go, the season's underway, a couple games under your belt, but as you guys look towards what you want to accomplish this season, when the year's all said and done and you're looking back, what things will you guys need to have seen to know that you've had a successful year? What kind of goals are you setting for yourselves?
Definitely say winning the WBO. I feel like it definitely slipped away from us last year, and I feel like we definitely have a team capable of doing it this year. So, I'd have to say that. And then as far as we can, a tournament run for me. So,
yeah, a tournament run. We haven't been able to get over that district finals hump in the last couple of years, so being able to get over that's huge for us. And then WBO title for sure. Nice. I mean, last year we were right there and fell short, so we want to come back stronger.
You guys said there's only 3 seniors on a team. Coach, what's the fun part about coaching such a young roster?
Just because there's something new every day. There's something they haven't heard. There's something they haven't thought about. Even of the 3 seniors, only 2 of them have experience, and then Josiah is really the only other player that has experience. So it's a group that's very green. They don't know any better a lot of times. So we're learning, we're growing, and I think he spoke about his brother's class with Braden Shaw and Caden Zachrich. You know, when you've got teams that have played for 3 years, there's expectation, and that's not always fun because there's a lot of pressure that comes along with that. With these younger crews, you mold them into anything you can, and I think right now it's a group that's they listen to coaching, and I think we're going to be able to mold them into what we want.
Who are some of the other young names that by the end of the season was like, that guy's a dude?
I think if we're really going to take off, and there's a few guys that I think could help us, but a sophomore by the name of Owen Fry, he's one. I think he's got, a scorer's mentality similar to Josiah, and if we can add another guy in the mix and speed up his thought process and his understanding of varsity basketball, we could have another weapon on the outside.
Now, I know coaches aren't always in the locker room, right? But someone has to be in charge of the locker room at all times. Who runs the show inside the team?
Matthew Walter, that's our guy. Glue guy, we call him. Just an all-around good guy, senior, and we look up to him a lot.
That's awesome.
I bet your locker room's nice.
The whole facility's nice. Are you kidding me?
We were at a football game last fall, or a track meet last spring,
yeah.
And I told Miles, I said, we got to go get in the gym. Just go walk in the gym. We just want to hang out in the gym.
We didn't get there because he was awed by the baseball and softball facility.
Well, I was out of breath walking up the flight of stairs.
That's right, yeah.
All right, guys, Miles is going to ask you some rapid-fire questions. I apologize before we start.
Oh, come on.
But they're going to come at you quick, and you got to answer them all, okay? All 3 of you.
All right, guys. The first one, Christmas right around the corner, right? Who wins in a fist fight, Santa or the Grinch?
The Grinch.
Oh, wow.
You didn't even hesitate.
Santa.
Santa?
The Grinch.
The Grinch? Why does the Grinch win?
Got a better mentality, more
toughness, right?
More toughness.
Man, overlooking all that magic.
I know, right?
Santa's quick,
I think Rudolph helps him out. What do you think, Nate? What's the best thing about being in Napoleon?
Best thing about being in Napoleon?
Yeah, when you have to go to Napoleon, what's the best
You're
thing
on
about
24 on your way to Toledo.
That's a great answer.
I don't even go through it. Skip
Nothing
it.
good about it.
The right answer is leaving.
By the way, Napoleon's coaching players will be on next week.
They'll probably postpone.
Great, that's great. That's
I
great.
love this. I'm coming to that game. I'm telling you right now.
All right, Coach, you can answer this, but you got to answer it last, okay? On the coaching staff, who has the best hair?
I would say Coach Detter when he gets a haircut.
Yeah,
Really?
he cut it, but Wes Detter had the flow going for a while.
Coach, who has the best hair?
We upgraded big time this year. We picked up 2 coaches, and they're stylish. They do their hair.
Really?
Coach Holmeyer's got a
Traps.
flow. Coach, I'm going Coach Holmeyer over Coach.
Beautiful
Detter.
head of lettuce, huh?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. Now, usually those hair guys, though, what do they do? They got great shoes. Who's the best shoe guy?
On the team,
Yeah.
like coach-wise,
Coach or player? Who's got the best shoes?
Coach Headley, he's got a new pair about every other day.
Really? What's he wear?
Literally anything you can
We
imagine.
are how many days into the school year? He has not worn the same pair twice.
Nice. I got to talk to this cat. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm a shoe guy.
Good
right?
dude.
Right.
Thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate it. And best of luck Friday night against Ottawa Glandorf.
We appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you very much.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, fellas.
Welcome back to the Three Wise Men. Gentlemen, it's time for the WSN schedule of the week, and we're going to start off with the girls' game tonight. Ottawa Glandorf at Liberty Benton. Nate Garlock and Darn Nevergall on the call. Ottawa Glandorf comes in 3-0. Shocker. Liberty Benton comes in 4-1. Their only loss to Delphus Jefferson.
Yeah, and that was a 1-point loss. This is a Liberty Benton team that has some really good pieces. Really liking the junior that they had, the 6'4", Cara DeHart. She had 22 points on Saturday, a win against Bryn. A really good player. And then it's Ottawa Glandorf, and it's what Ottawa Glandorf does, right? They still have Carson Erford, defending
so good.
WL Player of the Year, and all the other pieces that go around them. They're having another tremendous year. This has been a focus game for a while, right? This matchup is one of those ones that they've been highlighting that's always kind of been circled and as a big-time matchup. Now, Liberty Benton, maybe not the team that they had been in the past when these two teams have matched up, but still a really, really good team. This should be a fantastic matchup. Really looking forward to this one tomorrow night.
Yeah, who doesn't like a 5-star matchup early in the year, right?
Yeah.
And this is what this
Anytime
is.
these two schools get together. Anytime.
Absolutely. And if you thought Liberty Benton, after they lost a tough one to Jefferson 45-44, that they would be feel bad for themselves, what they do in the next 2 games against Arcadia, only allowed 29.
Yeah.
And in Fort Laramie,
Yeah.
only allowed 17.
So that was the next thing I was going to talk about. It doesn't matter. Fort Laramie obviously having a little bit of growing pains down there, but
Which is
any
weird
team
to talk about.
Exactly. But any team coming out of Fort Laramie and you're able to hold those teams at 17 points, I mean, absolutely. Just not something that you ever see coming out of there. So a huge thing for them, and that's what makes tomorrow night's matchup even that much more exciting between OG and Liberty Benton. If Liberty Benton's able to bring that same type of defense and they can slow down OG at all, that's going to be a tough night for Ottawa Glandorf. But Carson Erford, she always seems to find a way. She can get to the basket. She can shoot from 3. Her defense, that full court pressure that they're going to bring, that's going to be really difficult for Liberty Benton. They're going to have to find a way to deal with that.
You got to believe if it's a 40 to 45 to 50-point game, that is going to be in favor of OG.
Absolutely.
I know Liberty Benton's going into a new conference, guys, but I hope these two schools continue playing each year in all sports. It's a great matchup of two really similar-sized schools, similar fan bases, and really rich tradition on both schools.
Yeah, it's one of those we look forward to them playing, so let's keep it going.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys, let's stay at Ottawa Glandorf. The boys take center stage Friday night. Ottawa Glandorf 3-0. They're taking on Defiance 2-0. You saw Defiance and the guys here tonight. Randy Roberts and Miles Holliday on the call for that one. Defiance has beaten Paulding and Toledo Scott, Miles. Is that the same Toledo Scott I knew as a kid?
No, not nearly as close. No, without a doubt. Much different team. Like they held Scott to only 11 points. 11 points in a varsity basketball game. Absolutely insane.
That's why I brought that up.
So nowhere close to what Scott used to be, but still, you got to win in tough conditions, right? You played Paulding on Friday night, and then you played a tip-off at 1 o'clock the very next day on a Saturday for your first 2 games. I really like this Defiant squad. Coach Lehman does such a good job over there, and it's going to be a great battle early in the WBL schedule. I think for Ottawa Glandorf, for them to be successful, though, Brody Fortman's got to be the guy that touches the ball, if not every time down the floor, every other time. Talked to our good friend Dave Bowen. He had that game against Bluffton. It was a 40-30 affair, kind of a rock fight. He says because they couldn't take care of the basketball. Do they still have some pains from Grady Tomazos moving on to Defiance? He was a great point guard. Yeah. If they're turning over to basketball, they're going to have a tough time beating Defiance.
Well, you heard Coach talking about it when we talked to him and the players a little bit ago. This is a game last year where, this was kind of a, quote-unquote down Ottawa-Glandorf team, and that was still just a 1-point victory for Defiance. Never an easy out, even when this OG team maybe isn't at their best. Defiance knows that, and they're getting ready for what could be a really difficult game.
Yeah, we saw Grady Tomazos, how valuable he was to this program the last 4 years. Such a consummate point guard.
He was.
Getting points when they needed to handle the ball. Look, after Colin White left, I don't know what a lot of people were expecting. He's probably the greatest player to play in a place that had great players. But this is a team that went through a lot of growing pains this year. Mm-hmm. This is still a team that can contend for the WBL, guys. I'm telling you, they're that talented.
Which one?
The Western Buckeye League.
No, but which team? Which team?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying.
Defiance or OG?
No. Look, Defiance is really good.
Yeah.
And this game is going to go a long way. I wish this game was later in the season. I really
agree.
do.
Well, that plays into my next point, which is, as the saying goes, you can't win a conference in the beginning of the season, but you can lose a conference early in the season. This game could end up, especially if you're a team like Defiance, who you were right on that doorstep last year, and you have big goals this year. You want to win a conference title. This is a game that could go a long way in deciding whether or not you're in that discussion at the end of the season.
Defiance needs to keep an eye, too, on Rolls-Royce Ellerbrock. Being kind of quiet, sharpshooter from behind the arc. Sharpshooters get hot at some point in time. Just make sure it's not against you on that
There's
night.
always something about going into that gym at OG. Like bad things happen to visitors, right?
Right, but this one's at the Taj Mahal.
This one's at the Taj Mahal, which is the
right.
nicest gym in the world.
It's fantastic.
Hey, another big clash early in the season happens in the Northwest Conference. Friday night, Spencerville at 2-0. They take on Crestview at 1-2. Nate Garlock and Dave Bowen. Crestview being 1-2, it's hard to say, fellas. Now they've lost to Van Wert and Shawnee, but that's a tough pill to swallow. 1-2 Crestview doesn't happen live.
Yeah, like you mentioned, their losses are against two really good teams in Van Wert and Shawnee, two teams that are believed to be fighting for that WBL title when it's all said and done. Finally got the first win against Parkway in their last game, so looking to start getting that momentum building. But the schedule not any easier on Friday night. Spencerville comes to town. We know about the Sense and Balls and what they have. They're off to a great start this season as the Bearcats. They're looking to do some really special things this season as well. So Crestview, they don't have a lot of time to work through growing pains because we just got done talking about in this Defiance OG game, right? You may not be able to win the conference now, but you could set yourself in the position to lose it. This is a big conference battle, and if Crestview is hoping to be back in the discussion for an NWC title, they could go a long way in doing that if they can come away with a victory.
Well, everybody knows Carter Orr graduated, right? So the big guy that rebounds, who's going to rebound for Spencerville? That's been kind of like the question going into this. Well, you do it by a team. And you looked at the game against Elida, the Sensabaugh brothers got 10 rebounds together. I think that's what they have to do. Problem, though, is if they're rebounding the basketball, they're not leading the break. And I think this is a basketball team. If they get to 60 points, you like their chances to win every single time, right? They're going to be leading that race. If they get to 60 against Crestview, they're going to win. Now, Crestview, you think with big sheets inside, they're going to be a dominant rebounding team, right? Zach Crummy, 17 rebounds when they played Van Wert. So they're going to have to do a good job taking care of the glass, or else Spencerville might run away.
What do you need, guys, when you go on the road in a hostile environment? Crestview, a tough place. You need guard play. What does Spencerville have? A lot of guard play. Not only do they handle the ball, they have great shooters. And you want to talk about two guys that have played in lots of big games. The Sensabaugh brothers. I said this all the time. Will Sensabaugh has such a chip on his shoulder when he plays basketball. I love
fun to watch.
that. Yeah. No, nothing against Owen Sensabaugh. I think he's a fantastic player. And they got another guard that can knock him down from outside. They've got they got players everywhere. But the Sensabaugh brothers are the heart of that team. If I'm going in enemy territory, if I'm going in a hostile gym, I want guys like the Sensabaugh brothers handling the ball.
Yep, absolutely.
I love the fact, too, that our area coaches do not shy away. They will play anybody, right? And that's what makes your weekend so much fun.
Game 5 Friday night, Minster at Delphos St. John's. A good old action in the MAC. Minster comes in at 1-1. St. John's 2-0. Minster's loss was to Wapakoneta. We'll talk about them later. And St. John's has got 2 wins early over Elida and Kalida.
Yeah, this is a Minster team that I think a lot of people are still trying to figure out what they're going to be this year. They're coming off of some pretty good campaigns. And, Delphos St. John's, they're a favorite. right? They have Cam Elwer. Easton Elwer had a great game against Elina on Saturday night. They're still young in their season. They had a game postponed, so they're still working their legs from underneath them as well. The one thing with this Delphos St. John's team, the one, I guess, glaring weakness you could say when you watch them play, it's the size. They are not going to be the biggest, tallest team on the court on any given night. They've got to find some way to get things going inside. If they go up against a team that's got some size that can move things into the perimeter, that could cause some issues. Now, we know Cam Elwer, he's going to score. We talked about he had a 2,000th point. He also doesn't shy away from the rim. He'll get to the rim as well as anybody does. He gets rebounds for his team as well. But this is a Delphos St. John's team where if you're looking at where you can attack them, it appears at least right now the inside is where you want to go.
Well, our good friends Mark Shine and Jerry Snodgrass will be on the call for that one. Here's the thing with Minster. You know you're going to get at least 30 points out of two guys, McClurg and Albers, right? Mm-hmm. They're going to get you 15 apiece, if not more. Where's the rest of the points come from? And that's a problem when you're playing a team like DSJ because you know they can score in a hurry, especially if you're behind the arc. They can fill it up out there. If this thing is a track meet, DSJ wins this easy.
Oh, yeah, they can get out and run, absolutely. Yeah. Guys, Game 6 Saturday night, Wapakoneta 2-0 against Liberty Benton. Randy Roberts and Miles Holliday on the call. Now, the bizarre thing about this game, not bizarre, I don't know if that's the good word to use, Wapakoneta, who everyone thinks of as a football school, I think they do a great job with basketball. Guys, they're 2 games into the season. They're averaging 65 points a game. I mean, they're putting it up. They're running and gunning. This is a good test against a good Liberty Benton team.
It shows you what a good coach Trey Elkert is,
He's
right?
fantastic.
They've been a grinded-out type team for the last couple of years. Finally, this might be the deepest team he's had.
Oh, yeah.
So what's he doing? He's allowing them to attack the basketball up the floor. They have a chance to run. They're going to. Danny, the problem that they might have against Liberty Benton is a guy by the name of Luke Gurton, right?
He's really good.
Might be one of the top 5 players in the area. He's a commit to go play at Finley. He's the real deal at 6'5", and he can handle the basketball. I don't know how they match up with him because he's got physicality as well. So they're going to have to really limit his attack to the basket. Now, Liberty Benton, not without problems also. Zach Elker, who missed the rest of the football season, is he going to be healthy enough by now to play basketball? If not, they got a lot of answers.
You guys ever notice how Charlie Ernst has a typical kind of guy he goes after, and he wins with those guys? That's a typical. If you wouldn't have told me he was going to Finley, I'd have been like, he's a Finley player.
Yeah, he's without doubt a Finley guy, right? And we're going to try and get Charlie Ernst on the show
he's
here.
been fantastic.
Yeah. You know, the one thing with Walpock, though, too, is you got to think last year, right, a little bit of a down year, but the big talk with them was the health. And they were not healthy for a big part of the season, especially early. And this year, this is as healthy as a team as they have had in quite a while to begin a season. And I think that's why we're seeing, you know, the point totals going, they're being able to run, the depth is starting to develop because they've had to develop that because they haven't had a lot of guys. A lot of guys have gotten a lot of minutes because of those health issues. Well, now everybody's available, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see the fruits of those labors.
You remember Moyer playing with the hand issue that he had last year? Doing a great job, and Richards had to carry him on the offense end early in the year. It's a team that's finally matured. They might be another one of those teams that can contend for the WBL championship.
Yep.
Game 7, guys, Saturday night, Arlington at Columbus Grove. Myself and Dave Bowen will be on the call. Arlington comes in 2-1. Columbus Grove will have a game Friday night, but they're 0-0 right now. And what a bad way to have to start your season, taking on a guy that's 6'10", who took his team to the state semifinals last year, and you got to figure out a way to guard him in your early season.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing here, right now it's kind of hard to know because Columbus Grove hasn't played a game yet. Are they going to be fresh? Are they going to, how are they going to hold up after that long football season? You know, you said they'll have a game Friday night, so now on top of that, now you're on the second game of a back-to-back. That's never easy anyway, let alone when you're just getting started. It's going to be interesting to see where Columbus Grove is. We know they're on their way back up. Very competitive team last year. Won a couple of games that people didn't think that they would. They knocked off Spencerville last year in a really good game about mid-season. And then there's Arlington. Arlington had a fantastic season last year. You know, Willow is a tremendous player. They have the size. We'll see what they're able to bring back because they did lose some to graduation. But for me, I'm more interested to see what Columbus Grove is going to look like early coming off of this long football run.
Well, we all know Willow. You're right. He's a fantastic player, 6'10". What a great job, especially that upset last year against DSJ. Tremendous basketball player. I'm excited to find out where he winds up playing college basketball. I think there's going to be a lot of schools they're going to get a good one on that because he's got great touch. But there's also 8 seniors on this basketball team. So how they kind of navigate around Willow, don't want to be a Willow-centric team. You know, make sure those 8 seniors are in part of this basketball team.
team. But this is a game I wish we could play it in another month because I'd like to see Columbus Grove, in the swing of things after that late football season. You asked Coach Lehman what that's like as a basketball coach in the interview. I thought that was a great question. You need to ask Connor Coles because he deals with it every single year.
Yeah.
He could write a book on basketball coaches having to navigate the end of a football season because there's nobody that does it better than him. You know they're going to be more athletic than Arlington, but you don't know if they're going to be in great basketball shape yet.
Yeah, that's a great point. Guys, we're going to change gears a little bit and talk a little bit of football. The state finals in football are over. St. Henry, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, they win it all. Guys, what made this St. Henry team so special?
To me, I think it's one thing, right? It's Charlie Whirling.
Yeah.
I mean, he played out of his mind all this season.
Didn't he?
And we saw this coming. I mean, he's been good his entire career, but he took another step this year. And playing in that quarterback position, knowing what was coming, they weren't going to be a throw. He wasn't going to throw the ball a ton, but he was going to get it done with his legs. Teams knew that was coming, and they still couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
He got all those yards, all those TDs. I mean, the what he did this year for that team, that is what made them so special.
As a guy that used to call defense before I was a head football coach, nothing more frustrating that you have the right call, you stop them, right? And you look and he's still got 5 yards, right? He was that kind of player, right? Even when you had things dialed up the right way, he would just carry guys to extra 4 or 5 yards. Just a dominant force. Everybody in the stadium would know Charlie Whirling is going to carry the football. It didn't matter. Charlie Whirling was going to do Charlie Whirling stuff.
Yeah, and that offensive line was fantastic all year long.
Even when they had injuries.
Yeah, even when they had injuries. And we talk about it all the time. Football starts from inside out for me, at least. You start with the lines, the offensive line, defensive line, and you get a great athlete like that. You said it earlier on the radio. You said Charlie Whirling was a quarterback? Yes, he was. A lot of people don't know that. He was a quarterback. Yeah, he was a pretty good quarterback. Guys, we look at some of the attendance numbers for the state finals games, and some of them were 3,500. Some of them, it was between 3,500 and 6,500 a few games. What do you think about the attendance? Do you think the drive across the state or maybe the proximity of schools, what do you think that would make it better?
That's a really good question, right? There is that choice for people that are not part of those schools, that we can watch it on the comfort of our home on TV, which is a great thing. But how many people used to go to the state finals that don't because they can watch it on TV? You got to think that you're going to lose out on something like that. But I think dealing with weather, going to those games, maybe driving 4 hours, depending on where you're at, I think 4,000 people at a high school football game for the state finals is still pretty good.
Pretty good. That's a JV game in Texas.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. I mean, it's a hard thing to quantify because of all the other ways that you have to consume it now. Where before, if you wanted to go, there was only one thing you could do, and that was drive over there, be a part of everything that was going on. You have hardcore people that are going to go every single year. We had a lot of bad weather over this weekend as well, leading into it, all over the state. I'm sure that affected some people, but if you're the OHSAA,
You're really not what you
and I think the realistic part of it too is, it looks kind of worse, right? Because 3,000 or 4,000 people may sound like a lot, but you put them in that stadium, it's not going to look like a lot, right? And, that's just kind of the optics of having it such a great facility like they do over there. So, it's a give and take. And, if you're the OHSAA, I don't really know what else you can do other than moving it to more like a centralized location. But I don't think they've tried
even
that.
When it was in Columbus, it wasn't great attendance.
Yeah, you could put it
and
in
you had
shoe
that bad
and
look of
smaller.
100,000 seat venue and 4,000 people.
Yeah. Guys, the average margin of victory was 28 points. All three of us talked last week when we saw the other bracket. No shade towards Hillsdale or McDonald, but we understand what football is down there compared to up here. In past years, it's just not been good. Now, those kids play hard. They get to the state finals. Hillsdale got humiliated last year by Marion Locals 74-0, I think, something like that. And then again this year they lose big to St. Henry. Is there anything you can do about that? I mean, you got to play. The teams are coming out of the different regions.
It just is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, they set the numbers for what your enrollment is, and that's the division that you're going to be in, and then you got to play the games. I mean, we can't even have like the normal argument when people try to do that when you look at lopsided games, because that doesn't exist this year. And at the end of the day, the schools are the schools, and it is what it is, and you're going to have, depending on where you're at in the state, there's going to be different levels of competition. We know how good football is here in Northwest Ohio. That's what makes it so special. And, you see that translated sometimes when we get these matchups.
No, I think one thing you could do is that, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Schools that want to recruit players should be in a division where they're playing schools that want to recruit players.
schools that don't want to recruit, just want to go with homegrown kids, you play in a different division. I think that would be a big part of the competitive imbalance. No doubt about it. We saw some games that were a big part of the reason why one team dominated was because they went out and got better players, right? We're all in agreement with that. So that'd be one thing you can do. Also, get rid of practice restriction. If you want to be a team that practices football year-round and you want to sell out and be good at football as a school, go ahead and do that.
Guys, there's a rumor that they may move the state finals to the new Brown Stadium, which will be built in a few years. OHSA, if you're listening, move it indoors. I'm an indoors guy. It's the fan experience. I want to watch a game in 70-degree weather. I want to eat a hot dog.
In your living room.
I know, but I want to be at the game. It is so much, Miles. It's a different time. It's a different era of football. It's not 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's everything spread out. You need optimum conditions. Move it. Oh, Miles, he's spelling. He's saying something. What is it, Lassie?
He didn't even spell it right.
There it is, right there. Danny Holbrook, like a lot of people.
Soft.
S-A-W-F-T, soft.
Okay. Lima Lane, can I just say this? This spring, Miles and I were doing a radio show, and he says to me, I'm not going to a baseball game in April. It's too cold.
I didn't say it like that.
You did.
Yeah. Really? Well, I wasn't even looking. I thought that was Miles talking.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
I was looking over
here.
He
said that, and I looked at him and I go, who's soft?
It was also the Pirates. I mean, I wasn't going to go watch the Pirates when it was July, for God's sakes. They're terrible.
Well, look, we're going to take a break. Stick around, Lima Land, because you want to come back. Nate the Great returns. Can't wait for that.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, you're watching the Three Wise Men. Welcome back to the Three Wise Men, and we've got a guest on that hasn't been here in a while, but he's making an appearance, Miles, and he has a stoic look about him. He has a demeanor about him that just is all business.
It's like he's in another dimension.
Yeah, Lima Land, please welcome back Nate the Great. How are you, Nate?
Thank you both for letting me come back. I appreciate it. I know it's been a while since I have been here, okay? Well, there's a couple of things that we need to discuss. They may have been my past predictions.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move on to the future predictions, we'd like to review some of these past predictions so we can show just how great Nate really is.
Yeah.
Turns out, I was off a little bit.
A little?
There's a chance that I got the information that was being sent to me backwards, hence the reason that I got everything wrong. Everything I said that was wrong should have been right. I think we've gotten that all turned around now, and we're going to have much better luck come basketball season. All right, but here's how we're going to do it this time. All right, guys. Before, when we were working on these predictions, I think you guys were part of the problem. All right, it wasn't Nate the Great.
I've heard that a lot in my life.
Yeah, it wasn't Nate the Great. It wasn't my predictions. I gave you guys the envelopes. I let you guys get mixed up in the messages, and things just got a little.
We ruined your aura.
I think you guys ruined it.
You're wearing a gold feather on your head. Okay.
Yeah, where do you think the power comes from, big guy?
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Don't
show respect to Nate the Great. All right.
Don't provoke him.
You do not want. Yes.
Sorry.
Don't make me get the spirits on you.
Thank you.
All right. So what we're gonna do this time here, guys, is I'm going to tell you guys my predictions. What I predict will happen here this year during the 2025-2026 boys high school basketball season. And then I'm going to let you guys discuss on why you know that I am right.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so
this is a great segment.
So I gave you none of these predictions beforehand.
No envelopes.
No envelopes this time. I didn't want anything to get a little hairy, and you guys screw this stuff up.
Should we wait till you're done with all of them, or
no?
One at a time, sir.
Have you ever done television?
Yes, sometimes. Thank you.
Amateurs.
How many predictions do you have, Nate?
I have 5 predictions.
5 great predictions.
This will be a great bit to get cut. Yeah.
All right. First, I'm calling this prediction champions.
Okay.
And this is what we are going to be calling Lima Senior when the season is over. I believe that this Lima Senior team, the message that are getting sent to me, I predict that this Lima Senior Spartan Club will finish the season as a state champion.
State champ.
Discuss.
Okay, let me just say this. So in his first game, Sean Foster was absolutely fantastic. He's averaging 32 points a game right now. Willie Foster's averaging 15 a game.
Yeah.
Guys, against Start, they had 28 turnovers. Not Lima Senior. They forced 28 turnovers. They've got guard play. They've got big men. They've got coaching. They've got fans. They got it all. You're right, Nate.
Why are you trying to convince Nate the Great? I made the prediction,
yeah,
big
okay.
guy. You don't have to
Sorry.
sell it to me.
Nate the Great, as long as they take care of the inside presence, right? I think Nate the Great even knows they have to rebound the basketball, right? Something at times last year they struggled with. If they rebound the basketball, I think what's going to be on their menu at the state championship banquet, tacos.
I guess what? I predicted that too. I predicted that pun was coming from a mile away. My powers are getting better. We're going to move on to prediction number 2. Prediction number 2. This one, top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10.
We just watched Cam Elwer get his 2,000th point. I predict that Cam Elwer will end the season with more than 2,500 points, and he will crack the top 10 in all-time scoring in the state of Ohio.
I agree with you, Nate the Great. And can I maybe add to the prediction, Nate the Great?
Absolutely.
There's a basketball, and he's going to be Mr. It's going to be Mr. Basketball Cam Elwer also, not only as a scoring champion, but he's going to carry the Mr. Basketball mantle in the state of Ohio.
Excuse me, Miles. This is my segment where I predict things, not yours.
I asked.
All right. When your cousin is here, I don't interrupt him.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah. I think that you're absolutely correct, top 10. We talked about it last year. If he averaged 30 points a game throughout the season, if they got to this, he could be the all-time leading scorer in the state of Ohio. I don't know that that's going to happen. I think that's going to be a big feat for him to do, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. He's averaging, 20 right now, something like that?
He's not going to shoot half-court shots in the state final.
Right, yeah.
Right. Like a guy that used to do that.
Yeah. But I do agree. Top 10, 100%.
That will also make him the all-time leading scorer from our area. At certain points this year, he would pass Greg Simpson and Jamar Butler, and he would be the top scorer from our area.
Great names
as well.
to be with.
It's amazing.
Next, repeating. This prediction I call repeating, hence I said it twice. Repeating. Shawnee will win their second straight Western Buckeye League championship. Delphus St. John's will win their third straight MAC championship.
Okay.
And Spencerville will win their fourth straight Northwest Conference championship.
So Delphus St. John's, Spencerville, Shawnee, and who's the fourth?
Well, I only said three teams there, big guy.
There's only 3.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah. I agree with you on Delphus St. John's. I think they'll win that. I agree with you on Spencerville. I agree they'll win that. And I agree with you on Shawnee, too. How about that?
Yeah, anytime you have the Brothers of Destruction like the Berkeys, I think they win the WBL just with those two. However, they're starting to get third scoring, and then that's going to make them even more dangerous. Don't know anybody that's going to challenge the Elwers. I think they're fantastic. I like you on that one. And Spencerville, got guard play, and what wins championships? Guard play.
Yep.
All right, moving on. The fourth prediction for the season. I caught a little bit of what we were talking about earlier with the Defiance basketball team and their outlook for this season. My prediction, Santa will deliver an undefeated December for the Defiance Bulldogs.
Ooh.
That will include victories over Ottawa Glandorf, Fremont Ross, Walpock, and Toledo St. Francis.
Nate the Great.
Nate, this is the first time I'm going to disagree with you, brother. I think some of your corrections are right, but that St. Francis game, that ain't going to be easy. I don't agree with that.
St. Francis is the real deal, man. They are a very deep basketball team. But I'm going to agree with you, Nate the Great. And
Suck up.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame that Napoleon didn't reschedule for December, because then it'd even be even better.
Better one.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
They should have called me. I would have predicted that Napoleon would have postponed for Coach Lehman. All right, and finally,
There's a French theme.
we are going to go for our fifth and final prediction.
Final, thank God.
A return to the Final Four in one area will lead to a more exciting state semi and state finals week in Dayton.
Well, Nate, I'll say this. I'm glad that the Final Four, the semifinals and finals are in the same area, but they're not in the same building. And I don't think you can get back to what we used to know until you can put it all under one roof. Look, there was something great about going down Wednesday night, getting up, going to Thursday semifinals, Friday semifinals, and then the big championship games on Saturdays. That's what I want. I love how they're trying to do it. I really do. They're making changes. UD Arena is a great place for high school basketball. I just want to see it all there, and I just hope they work out the logistics where we can do it.
Look, there is a campus that has two sites that could be used, the Schottenstein Center, and you have the old venerable building, St. John's, that you could play in. You could have it and have, they want to spread it out with 19 different divisions. You got two close buildings right by each other. You could do it in Columbus very easily. I'm with Danny. I'd like to have it in close proximity. Who wants to drive around and try and find games? I'm in agreement with that.
Unfortunately, you both are wrong, as always, because Nate the Great said it will be so. These are my predictions for the 2025-2026 season. All will be true because Nate the Great said so.
Welcome back into the three.
Did you guys see my cousin here earlier?
Nate the Great did stop
he
by.
make some good predictions?
He made some great predictions.
Oh, that's awesome.
I thought for a second we had Pitbull join us, too.
Yeah,
You guys are welcome.
Yeah.
All right.
We start over? All right, guys, it's time for the Stolly Sensational Player of the Week. Miles, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I had the privilege of watching Van Wert get a really tough victory over Wayne Trace on Saturday. And everybody talks about Dezette Crummy, Xavier Kelly, Keaton Welch, right? But the guy that was the key for them was Colin Bragg, 11 points for them. But it wasn't the points that he scored for them. He is the guy that does those things, right? He'll set the big, tough screen to get guys open. Absolutely everywhere on the basketball floor, getting loose balls, rebounds, just one of those guys that makes winning plays for them. He was spectacular, and he's that guy that you have to have. If you have aspirations in March of going deep into tournaments, he's that guy that helps you get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, this was pretty simple, honestly. And a lot of great performances. A lot of guys did good things this weekend, but you get your 2,000th point. That is so rare.
That's awesome.
Cam Melwer.
Yeah.
It was an easy choice this week for me.
Easy choice for me, too. When you are the best player on a team and you play your best in the state championship game, Charlie Whirling, 213 yards, 3 touchdowns, 50 yards passing. He didn't need to pass the ball. No. He ran all night. Guys, he is going to go down as one of the best players in Northwest Ohio of all time. And it's simply put, he took his team and put them on his back. He was fantastic.
Will Charlie Whirling ever have to pay for a meal?
No. He'll go to Fishmo's and eat free every night, I'm here to tell you. All right, guys, let's talk about our Power 5 teams. This is early, so this is going to be kind of tough, but I think we can come up with 5.
Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go. Lima Senior. Like I said, they are a highlight reel every time they touch the basketball.
Nate the Great's really high on them.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard he had some pretty good predictions for them, and I tend to agree with Nate the Great pretty frequently. So, number 2 for me is Delphus St. John's, Spencerville, Shawnee, and then a little bit of a surprise here, fellas. This team is off to a 4-0 start. They're putting up points. They've been looking good on defense. Allen East.
Oh, yeah, the Mustangs.
I like that
Can
one.
I go?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can I go?
Because here's the thing. I've got 4 of the same 5 he's got. Lima Senior, obviously number 1 in my books. My goodness, guys, they're averaging 99 points a game and only giving up 66. Most teams that give up, most teams that give up 66 points, you'd be like, hey, you got to worry about your defense. No, they're scoring 33 more points than they're giving up, so they're going to be fine. Next up for me is Delphus St. John's, obviously the Elwers. What they're doing over there, phenomenal historical stuff. Spencerville, great guard play. Guys, I've got Lima Central Catholic in there. I think Lima Central Catholic off to a great start.
Can't go wrong with Jordyn Pretty.
Right, Jordyn Pretty is one of my top 5 players in the area. And my 5th team, you talked about them earlier, Liberty Benton Eagles. Yeah. Off to a good start. Here we go.
Yeah, I have a senior as well. I know nobody wants to run with them, right?
No. The Lakers don't want to run with those guys.
No, you do not. DSJ, what'd they shoot last year? Like 50% from behind the arc, continuing what they did last year. Shawnee, you knew the Berkeys were going to have to carry this team until they figure things out. I think they're going to figure things out. They're going to be fantastic. Who does a better job than Coach Triplett over there, right?
Yeah, right.
They're going to be great. I have Liberty Benton as well. I love how they play some basketball over there. And then our guys that we just visited, Defiance.
Oh, nice guy.
I love their toughness on the defensive end. Big test with them on Friday against OG, but I think they're going to pass.
I like their moxie. You heard them say.
Confident group.
Oh, my
Absolutely.
goodness. Yeah. All right, guys, there should be some funeral music playing right now. Something really sad, something that makes you melancholy. Our beloved Buckeyes lost in the Big Ten title. Guys, what went wrong in Indianapolis Saturday night?
Red zone scoring. This is a team that, for whatever reason, more than just in the Big Ten title game, they get inside the 20-yard line, and all of a sudden, they can't figure out how to score. It's baffling with the offensive firepower that they have that somehow, all of a sudden, it gets shut down once they're within 20 yards of the end zone. That's going to have to get fixed. They can't, and we also know that we can't rely on field goals inside the red zone either.
Don't go there, Nate.
But the red zone efficiency has got to get fixed. It cost them against Indiana, and if they're going to try to repeat as national champions, they've got to get that fixed.
I think it was a storm, a perfect storm for Indiana, right? You had the distractions, you had the emotion of coming off a big win against Michigan. You had the distractions, everything that took place during that week. I don't think they were really focused after that big win on Michigan to maybe middle of the week. Ryan Day was still talking, and the reporters were asking him questions about Michigan. Probably should have moved on a little bit quicker from that. Brian Hartline getting the job down in South Florida. Obviously, that's a distraction. You had signing day. You had the Chris Henry saga that was going on.
Good points.
All these things were just a perfect storm. That being said, Indiana, this was their Super Bowl, man. This was their biggest moment in the history of their program. They treated it like that, and they got the win. Now, the good thing about it, they only won by 3, and Ohio State played terrible.
Yeah.
For me, it was the right side of the offensive line. It was really a mess. We've been fighting that all year. Tegra Teshebola, who had a great season last year. Look, he had a good game against Michigan. He did, but it doesn't take away from the season. He's not been really good. I wish they would just stick with Gabe Van Sickle, put him over there, and Tegra say, look, you're a backup until you can get this thing figured out, and just stick with one guy.
It's a shame because when Tegra's really good.
He's really good.
He is amazing. He's an NFL-type starter, but when he's bad, watch out.
Who's your guys' Buckeye from the game, the Buckeye?
For me, it was Caden Curry. That guy was
he was
a
fantastic.
wrecking crew. He had 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, had the huge hit to open up the game. Thought that maybe that was going to change the entire dynamic of that Indiana team. He thought he was all over the field. I thought he did a fantastic job on defense.
I'm going to go with Sonny Styles, the linebacker. Pro Football Focus it depends who you ask. They do a job, right? It's either really good or bad, right? But they had a stat that was absolutely amazing. Against run fits, when teams run the football between the tackles, Sonny Styles, how many missed tackles has he had this year?
How many?
0.
Wow.
And you saw it again in that Big Ten championship. He was lights out tackling in between the tackle box. He's a fantastic football player. I'm hoping he winds up in Pittsburgh in his NFL career, but he was outstanding, had a ton of tackles, led the Buckeyes.
Guys, to me, this game should have been played on Valentine's Day. It really should have. Because when you are across from someone that loves you and they hold you, you should feel good about that. Kenyatta Jackson, he is a Valentine for the entire offensive line for Indiana. I've never seen a human being get held more, and I'm telling you right now, it is the most egregious holding call. Go back and YouTube it, look at it.
The double team.
The double team where they throw him to the ground, sit on top of him, wait for an official to call it, pose for their senior pictures, and nothing's called. Kenyatta Jackson deserved better. Caden Curry was fantastic. Kenyatta Jackson. Look, defense didn't lose us this game.
No.
They were fantastic.
You only give up 13 points. You should win a game.
Yeah, absolutely. What concerns you guys most about the college football playoffs?
Georgia. I think the path getting to Georgia, I think, is going to be difficult. I don't think it's going to be easy if we get Texas A&M for our first game either. Texas A&M has a really good offense. That's a team that may be a little bit underseeded. This was number 2 team in the country at one point. They lose one game, they drop. And then if that's the matchup, we're going to get them in Texas. I don't like that very much. Yeah. Then you get by them, you got Georgia, who I think is playing as good as anybody right now. That'll be a really difficult matchup. I think Ohio State's path is really difficult. I do.
Yeah, I'm happy if we played Miami. I don't think Miami has the discipline to beat us. They have some talent. I think we still beat Miami. But Texas A&M in Texas is another unfair advantage for an opponent, right? Remember we had to play Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Remember that a couple years ago? And it's such an advantage for them.
Marvin Harrison hit away from winning that.
Well, that was an illegal hit, and we do win the national title, but we digress, right? If we get by Texas A&M in the Cotton Bowl, I have no problem with Georgia in the semifinal. I'm not sure Georgia can score. They have a tremendous defense. Nothing about their offense concerns me. I think we beat Georgia in the semifinal.
To me, there's a couple teams. I still think Indiana is dangerous. I think what you don't know, you don't know. They play hard. They get the most out of their players. I think they're going to have issue if they have to play Oregon a second time. I think that's going to be a tough game for them. It's hard to beat people twice, and I like Georgia too. I still think Ohio State can win it. Look, last year's team after the Michigan loss.
Different team.
The most veteran-laden team in the history of college football. It's a fact. the most veteran-laden team in the history of college football. And so nothing really kind of bothered them, even though we were freaking out. They just went in and did what they had to do. And you're seeing, and you're not going to like this, you're seeing what a difference Will Howard was.
Oh, get out of
He
here.
was fantastic.
Unbelievable. How are we still having these conversations? Let me ask you guys this. I know this isn't on here, but I do have, well, since we're talking about the path, when I look at it, the top 4 teams, if you're looking at, okay, where would you want to be? To me, I think I'd want to be that 4 seed. I think Texas Tech has the easiest path through. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Texas Tech plays. They play the winner of Oregon, James Madison. Yeah.
And then after that, they would get that whoever won the Indiana game, and then into the final. I like that path more than I think any other.
I don't want to play Oregon, so I disagree. I think that's a tough game.
Dante Moore presents a lot of problems. I think Texas Tech, great defense. I think as good a defense as there is in the playoffs. That offense kind of spits and sputters a little bit. I don't think Ohio State would have trouble with Texas Tech.
Well, I don't either. I'm saying if I have to put myself on a line, that's the line I think I would rather be on is 4.
Fair enough. Does the committee make any changes to this?
I don't. There's going to be so much with all the stuff going on in the Notre Dame. I don't know. It's a mess. I don't care right now. I just want to enjoy some college football. It's a mess.
This is arrogance talking. Nobody on God's green earth believes James Madison and Tulane's going to win this thing. This is not a Rudy 2 movie. Just stop it. In basketball, that's a different story,
right? This time
right?
is personal.
Right, this time is personal. Rudy with an axe.
I saw he's in the portal going to Miami.
Yeah, he is. But no, in basketball, it's a different story. In football, no, stop it. Stop the charade, right?
Yeah, I don't know why we get the warm and fuzzy feeling thinking that we're going to get that miracle Tulane run for 4 games to win
Right.
That's not basketball.
I was like, because they've seen in basketball, that's why. But football and basketball, it's not the same comparison. It's not fair.
Just make it 16 teams, right?
Yeah.
That
Well,
way,
at this point,
the Notre Dame fans in the world, it's our birthright. We should be in the playoff because we're Notre
Miles
Dame.
Holiday.
They can automatically be in there, and everybody stops crying. Look, honestly, if you get rid of the Tulanes and the James Madisons, let them have their own national championship. Have the schools that sell out, that want to be great at college football. Put them in
sellouts.
Just have them in one different bracket, and you can go ahead and go get it.
Great show, guys. Lima Land, you cannot miss next week's show. Are you kidding me? We're going to have former All-Pro Super Bowl champion from the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Detroit Lions, Jeff Hardings, is going to be here on the show. Guys, I can't wait for that show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun, and our favorite basketball coach
Richard Westerland from UNOH is coming on the show. He's going to bring some players. Yep. It's going to be a star-studded show. Richard Westerland, Jeff Hardings, I'm telling you, man.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's must-see TV.
If you're a pink rabbit, you want to hop on that show next week.
It's the Three Wise Men, Lima Land. Thanks for watching.